So we announced over the weekend that we received our food hygiene rating, and since then we've had a mad influx of people messaging, like any tips, anything you could tell us. So what we're going to do is a video on exactly what happened and how you guys can achieve your hygiene rating, inshallah. Inshallah. So yeah, first things first, to be able to even get your food hygiene rating, you have to register with the council as a business and a food business and where you're operating from. We registered with this place before we moved in.
Which wasn't really easy.
No, it wasn't, was it? It's quite the address and thing. I think that was what made it the hardest with here.
The addresses, but obviously at the same time, because it was a new building.
Yeah.
Because it was a new building, there was no classes set up, and because it's individual units within a large building, it was kind of hard to get what classes for what, etc., etc. But yeah, the person on the phone was definitely helpful at the time.
Yeah, so we asked for a call from somebody for advice and things like that, because we had a few concerns that we thought we might need to change here. So we had a call from somebody on the phone, and we just basically asked anything we wanted to know. We asked about the separate hand wash sink. We asked about any concerns you have. They will phone you and they will talk you through things and what's best. That was really helpful. So yeah, the woman on the phone said, don't worry, we're catching up after COVID. We're not going to get to you for about a year because you're low risk, so don't worry. And we'll phone you before we come.
And the reason why they phone us before we come was because of our working hours.
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed to come and knock on the door and we'd be here. So to save them coming multiple times and them not getting through to us, that's the reason why she said your phone prior to coming.
We could be on a delivery. We could have finished the day at 2:00, but we're still taking calls until 9:00. So our opening hours are till 9, but we're not actually physically going to be here. So she said, yeah, we'll phone you. Fine, no problem. That's fine. So 2 months later, has it been 2 months since that phone call? About three months maybe. Whatever it is, it's not been a year. The guy knocked on the door, tried to come through the door. June's answered, and there he was, the environmental health badge, come to do the food inspection. We're like, what? You meant to phone us beforehand? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we were a bit taken aback. We were busy with cakes. We were a bit like, oh my gosh. But it is what it is. He explained, you're a unit, you're not a house setting, so therefore we are going to turn up unannounced. So we got to it. So we're going to talk you through exactly what he did and what he asked us and what we do to cover the hygiene side of things. So first he came in, put his bag down, he got out his white jacket and blue cap.
I don't know who he thought he was. I thought he was going to turn into some form of scientist or something.
So it was good though, because we don't allow anyone in here apart from ourselves. And if you're in here, you've got to have food, you've got to have hair covering and things like that. So it's good in that sense. So yeah, he put his stuff on out of his bag. He started pulling out all this paperwork. I think you dealt with him first, because I was like, okay, we've got to get the baby cakes out of the way. He can go and watch something somewhere else. So we put him in the office. And he started to look around first, didn't he? So we'll walk through what he did, walking around and show you what he did and what he looked at. Then after he looked around, throughout he was asking us questions, taking pictures of things on the wall. So yeah, he said, let's just see your paperwork. So we gave him the paperwork we have. We have this Safer Food, Better Business for Caterers pack. Now, a lot of this doesn't apply to us, does it?
No, it doesn't apply to us as we're bakers and we don't reheat food, etc., etc. But this is probably one of the most important things you're gonna have to do prior to anyone turning up on the door to inspect you. If you haven't got this book complete, you're in a problem already, and it's a big problem. This is a must.
Yeah. This is the first thing he asked for. Have you got that pack? You can actually download it for free online, but we brought it from Amazon because I feel like we're a bit old school. We like paper, pen. Yeah, so we brought it from Amazon. It only cost about £17-18. And it came the next day. So ours we physically filled out and we worked through it, and basically it was really helpful because there was one time he asked about the freezer. Do you actually freeze food? No. We said no, we don't actually freeze any cake or anything like that. And he said, well, have you got anything written down to prove it? And it was written in here. So, you know, it's really important. It backs up what you're saying because
because if it acts as you're a Christian and you're not prepared for it and you just say something, but then it's not in the book, then he's going to automatically assume that you're lying.
Yeah.
And then problems. You've got another major problem. And we've got a freezer because we use it to blast chill the buttercream, so it only goes in for like 5-10 minutes to be able to buttercream it again for the second stage. So realistically, our freezing is pointless.
Yeah.
We don't use the freezer for anything other than that. We don't store anything in it. So the fact that I had written down, we do not use the freezer to freeze anything. When I've said it to him, and it was backed up in the book, because at first he's like, it didn't say it in the book. I was like, no, I'm sure I wrote it. And he's like, I didn't come across it.
I panicked.
So we're flicking through. I'm saying, look, you're making me think like I didn't write it. And then it was there. And he went, like to say he was trying to catch me with something.
You know, I actually felt throughout while he was here, it was actually like he was trying to catch us out.
Yeah, he was.
And even down, we'll get to this, but basically in here, you've got to document what you do with the waste. So any of your waste, you need to have it being collected by a source, or if you're disposing of it of yourself, you need to actually be registered as a waste carrier. So he asked, what are you doing with your rubbish? That's one of the things he asked. We told him we take it ourselves, and he said, oh, you do know you can be charged. We was like, no, we've got the certificate. And he was like, you know, when someone's secretly impressed, and he was like, he said, whoa, I haven't seen one of these. You don't see many of these. I've probably seen not a lot in my years. So we had it all in here. It's all covered, like, and I feel like little things like that, he was like trying to get us on. No, not get us, but you know what I'm saying. They have to do that, their due diligence. So yeah, safer food for business, for caterers, very important, because they will ask you about it. And if you haven't got one, I don't know what they're going to do. They might probably try and ask you everything that's in there. So in there is, you've got to do your HACCP, which is your hazard analysis, critical control points. Basically,
someone thinks to know some stuff, though.
It's important. It's really important. Because you threw me off now. Basically, it's like a document you create yourself, which tells you any problems that may occur, why they could occur and why they're dangerous, and how do you stop them from happening. So, for example, making sure the cake is baked, that's one of the things. Why? Because uncooked eggs can cause food poisoning. And then what you do to make sure and ensure that you are not making that happen, basically. So that's important. It's so simple to do. You just create a little template yourself on Word, and it's once you get into it, it's self-explanatory, because it's things you do day to day without even thinking about it, but they want to see it in paper form to back it up. So that was important. That's that book done. While through that template, you actually every day have to write down if any problems occurred. So one of the problems might be that your cream cheese was opened 4 days ago. So on the tub it says after 4 days of use, you must dispose of it, get rid of it, it's not good anymore. So that might be one thing that you would write in there as a problem. So it's not really a problem because you got rid of it, but it's something that could have become a problem. Yeah? So I feel like, you know, with this inspection, the paperwork is the most important thing. It's not even like how clean the place was. I think the paperwork weighs heavier. So yeah, this is our little folder that we made up ourselves. And in here again is all templates that we literally made ourselves. The first one is what we do every single day. So it's got every day of the month, what month it is, what year it is, and then we tick it and sign it if we've done it. So temperature checks on the fridge, clean the surfaces, sweep the floor, we visually check the fridge. If it needs cleaning, it needs cleaning. Oven, clean, mop, pest check. So pest check, basically, if you've got pest traps set up, that's not what pest check is, because that's going to highlight you as saying, okay, they've got pests. A pest check is basically...
All there's pests within the area.
Yeah. It's a visual check around your place to make sure that there's no signs of anything. Bin check, make sure the bins are clean, and wipe the tiles. So that's what we do every single day. And then we've also got fridge temperature checklists. They have to be done, how many times? 3 times a day if you're here for all day.
We do morning and before we leave.
Yeah, twice a day, which is sufficient.
For 3 fridges.
For 3 fridges, yeah. So we've got 3 different checklists. We have actually got a one that came with the fridges that we brought, but we've also created a template for that. You have to basically document all of your deliveries that come.
Yeah, but you should go back. So back to the temperature. You need to show what the temperature was. So on our big fridge here now, it's got a digital display, and it needs to be within 5 and 8. If you follow the book, anything close to 8, this is basically called the danger area. So you want it below, or you want it around 5. If it says 5, you're good. But on the digital display, it says 5. You also need a second thermometer, digital one, inside the fridge that can verify the temperature that's displayed on top of the fridge.
It's like a double check.
To double check it, to prove the actual temperature.
I'm not sure that's
inside.
necessary though.
It's not necessarily, but it's best.
Yes, because what he did as well was open the fridge and check with his thermometer that our thermometers were accurate. Yeah. So it's very important, and it's very important that you log the temperatures. Some
laser beam pen thing, thought it was James Bond.
Yeah, so if any of them come up high and say there's a reason for it, like he was cleaning the fridge, you meant to document it next to the temperature. That's why it was high that time. I was cleaning the fridge, it was open. That's very, very important for them, would you say?
And because we've got more than one fridge, obviously you got your ingredients fridge, then we've got the cake fridge, like I said, we've got the freezer, etc. You want to make him know the differences between the different fridges, because obviously some fridges are going to be getting opened and closed more, so it's going to fluctuate a lot more than others. So it's just to cover your back. Yeah. That's all it is. It might not necessarily be obligatory, but you want to cover your back and limit the potential problems that they can come to you with.
So next was delivery record. So we've created a template again. Basically, any delivery that comes here, it's to show who it's from and who the courier was, and then if there was any problems. So you have to check all of those for pest again, because they're coming from a different place. They've gone on a different journey. They've come through couriers and things like that. You need to make sure that the packages you're receiving are closed
and sound
and good. Otherwise you shouldn't really be taking them, because anything could have happened to the things inside. If you're having fridge items delivered, you need to be checking the temperature of those items to make sure that they haven't gone out of range on the way.
Such as butter, such as milk, such as
like cream cheese
and things like that.
You
need to check the temperature you received it,
and that needs to be documented.
And he also, which we'll get to later on, he also advised us to check their fridge, so the delivery van's fridge.
Yeah. So maybe we need one of those James Bond things.
Maybe get my 007 on. No, like that.
Okay, so then as well as a daily checklist, we have a deep clean checklist. I hope we're not putting you off. Honestly, it's simple. Once you've got them created, it's just about ticking and signing. So yeah, deep clean checklist. So this is what we do literally every Sunday. We deep clean all metal surfaces. We deep clean the cake fridge, the ingredient fridge, the freezer, the oven, the shelves. We mop and we clean the bins every Sunday.
Deep clean.
Yeah.
Deep clean is a deep clean. It's not a wipe over.
Yeah.
It's deep clean.
Yeah, and if it needs doing in the week, then it gets covered on the first checklist. Right. If you are keeping your ingredients in bins, like sugar bin flour bin, tubs like coconut and things like that, and they're out of their original packaging, you need a rotation sheet. So we have a flour, ice and sugar bin. We've also got coconut shards in tubs and things like that. So basically you have to put what date you put them into the bin and what date is their sell by date and who did it. Again, we created our own template for that.
Have you got an example of it now? From Jan? Or was it finished?
No, it's finished.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the example of that sheet. Really simple. It's just 2 columns really. Then, as I touched on earlier, a waste disposal log. So we've got the certificate to say that Mr. Khalid is the transporter of waste. I wonder why it was you that did that and not me. I don't know, going to the tip. So yeah, you also have to put down when you go to the tip and what waste you disposed of. He asked about that.
So he's rarely seen that.
Yeah. I was saying that I feel like, we was talking about trying to catch us out. That was something he was shocked at. I think he was a bit shocked at that.
Because you have to, whether you're commercial premises or house, you have to have a certification to say someone's picking up your waste. You can't do it with your household rubbish.
Yeah.
You can get fined, what is it, £5,000, £6,000, I think. Don't quote me, but you can get fined if caught doing so. So you have to have certification. It's a part of your hygiene to have certification to show that either you are removing the waste or the waste is being removed for you.
And actually, just in case you want to know how to do that, all you do is go into your council website where your premises is and put your details in. It was free. You didn't have to pay anything.
It was free the second time when I tried it. They was going to charge me.
I must have had the magic touch.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so try it. Your council might be different. So we also created a policy. Look a bit geeky here for allergens. These people are big on allergens because you can kill someone, and we're not in the business of killing anyone. Just putting it out there. So we created an allergens policy to basically show what we do to make sure that there's no cross-contamination and there's no risk of somebody who comes with an allergen going home and something happening. So yeah, we've got a little policy. He looked at that and took a picture of that. He loved that.
And again, that's covered in detail in this. And also with that, they expect you to have an allergens course certification as well. With that. Yes.
And a level 2 in food hygiene at least as a minimum. He asked to see those certificates and he took pictures of them as well. Yeah. So that, and then also you need to have an ingredients list. I don't think it needs to be physical, it could be on a computer, but you need to have everything that you make and every ingredient that's in it, and then with the allergens highlighted.
It could be on the computer, but in the email that they send you, it says all documentation should be in a folder.
Okay, on site.
On site.
So it's just in case someone comes to you and they say, oh, I've got an allergy to such and such, you can then refer to your list and say, well, this contains that allergen, we won't be able to do it, or we can do it with a different ingredient. He actually sat down with this list and said, okay, can you get me all the ingredients for the salted caramel cake, please? And we were like, what? Literally, we had to put everything in front of him of the ingredients, and then he checked the labels, any flavouring, anything we put into the cake, he checked alongside this with allergens.
So he checked our allergens to see if we have shown what's an allergen within the list, and then counter-check that with the smaller ingredients to feed. So salted caramel sauce, if they're an allergy or an allergen within the sauce, have you notified the client of that?
Yeah. And alhamdulillah, it was good. It was good. I feel like he was really like being particular with that. You need a suppliers list. So basically anywhere that you might get ingredients and stuff from. I think this is basically like a trace of where things have come from. In case there's any problems when you get things, then you've got a trace of everybody that you get supplies from. This isn't actually for the health inspection, the hygiene inspection, but we've got a fire risk assessment which has been done, and also a certificate for our fire extinguishers. This is that's the insurance stuff we've got, and those are the fridge temps, and there's the certificates. So yeah, everything is in this folder that he needed. So he looked through, he took pictures, he tested us on our knowledge. So it's not just the case of having it written down, you actually need to know it because he will test you. And yeah, what we'll do now is we'll show you what he did and when he looked around, and yeah, explain about that.
So yeah, in the kitchen, we've got an allergen awareness poster, the 14 major allergens, and basically it tells you exactly what's what and where it will be found. You want this in the kitchen. You'd also want this in your showroom or wherever it is that the customer can see. So you want one for yourself, and then you want one that they can see. Also in our showroom, which I'll show you in a minute, we've also got other things to ask the customer if they have allergies, etc., etc. The allergens, your food hygiene, I would say, were the two most important things that he was checking on. He was really he walked past from over there when we get to the sink. He's looking at the sink. He's walking past. He didn't notice it. He's walking past, and he's gone, and he's come back and took a picture of it, and then he looked at me and he's gone, "That's a good one. That's a good one," and then carried on doing his check. So yeah, that was that. The allergens, definitely get the book done, get the course done, and make sure you've got your allergens. There's no such thing as too much allergen posters, stickers, writing, whatever you want to call it. There's no way too much. So yeah, that's important. So yeah, 2 sinks, 1 for hand wash only. We've got a sink in the bathroom as well. 1 for hand wash only. 1 to clean all your pots, plates, etc., etc. Also, he asked me, so if this is for your hand wash only, and this is to wash pots and plates, what about when you're washing vegetables and fruits and things like that, because they have bacteria on them? So what we said is, which is what you need to be doing, you clear out the sink, wash it down, and then wash whatever you're going to wash, so fruit, veg, whatever it is, and then you re-wash it again before putting anything else in there. And he asked about do you use sieves and colanders, etc. to wash the stuff off. We said no, we just wash them. We don't really use a lot of fruit and things like that, so we can wash them in our hand, obviously wearing gloves. We wash them in our hand, wash them in there, and then wash the sink down, and then move on. Again, in the book it says how do you clean and how many times do you clean. Well, we clean standardly throughout the day, and then we also clean as and when needed. So each time you use the sink, you clean the sink down. And also while we're here, it was checking the hand wash. His hands were nice, perfectly clean, you know. He's picked up the hand wash, washed his hands, asked him, what made you do that? He's gone, I wanted to see how it foamed up. That's what it was on. He wanted to see how it foamed up and how it worked. Then he checked antibacterial, blah blah blah, kills 99% of bacteria, etc., etc. So you need to make sure that your sink is on job. And also, while we're still here, so we've done hand wash, food, etc., etc. Also, all your cleaning products need to be down. Well, they don't need to be down here, but this is where we keep them. You got the KOSH system for your hazardous substances. Hazardous substances cannot be anywhere near places like this where food can be prepped. They have to be somewhere else. So we keep them bleach and anything that's harsh or hazardous to the body in the bathroom. You wouldn't use that anyway. You wouldn't use it on any surface. The only time you'd use that, reuse that, is on the floor when we're mopping down. things like this: sanitizer, degreaser, cleaner, and all of these food grade cleaning products. Another thing which she was stressing us on, which was, so it might say, okay, for Dettol was a good one. So we're thinking Dettol, great stuff. It says can be used in food preparation areas, suitable to use on food preparation areas. It says it on the bottle. Dettol True Clean Antibacterial Surface Cleaner, blah blah blah. We got another one as well. It's the same one. It's the same one. The other one's finished. And it tells you what it can be used on. It can be used on chopping boards, etc., etc., etc. Well, he's come in and he's checked the numbers, and he's basically said Dettol, although it says that you can use it, he says it's recommended to stay away from Dettol because their numbers that they use is not British standard, it's European standard. So therefore, it might not necessarily do what it says it's supposed to do. So you can see the bottle's empty. That's just away after this. But yeah, he said to stay away from things like that. But then we got this one, which clearly says safer food preparation areas. So you just got to be careful on what you're using. And again, Geezer was on job, you know. Again, he's gone, so break down your cleaning method with products, etc., etc. We've gone, so we'll fill up the sink, etc., or fill up a bucket, and we measure out how much we put in. He's gone, so how much do you put in? I did my research. I said 1 cap to 4 caps of water. He's gone, okay, so how much water do you normally put in? Do you measure out how much water you normally put in? I went, yeah, half of the depth of the sink. It's each bowl, each basin is 40 litres, so about 20 litres. So we put in about 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah. Worked it all out, and it's gone. Wow, have you got your measuring cup that you use? I said, no, I've thrown it away. It's gone. Okay, for next time, make sure you've got the measuring cup. Nothing's wrong with what you're doing, but I need to see proof that's what you're doing. It's all about evidence. So make sure you got your measuring cup, etc., etc., to prove how much you're putting out and diluting, etc., etc. But yeah, that's the cleaning products, and a variety of cleaning products will be beneficial.
So the last place he checked was over here, which is where we store a lot of cake equipment and colours, things like that, like cutters and things. And he just was looking and rummaging around. He was looking in the boxes, having a quick look. Then he came over here and he started looking at the blue colouring, and he was twisting it around and checking the ingredients. And if you are a baker or have a cake company, you know that these colours, they can easily get on the lid. Anyway, he touched it and then his hands were blue. And then he rubbed it and it just got worse. And I was standing there thinking, oh my gosh, is he going to mark us down for that blue being on his fingers? I was panicking and I just pretended that I didn't see. And then June's clocked. It wasn't last place because I went to the showroom next. June's clocked that he was on his fingers and he was like, get him a wipe, get him something to wipe his hands. And I was like, okay. And I was offering him different wipes, like a baby wipe, a Dettol wipe, and just kept apologising. But he was fine. He was fine about that. The one thing he did say when he was asking this question was, one of the things he said was, when he was trying to give advice, he said, one thing I would say is, like, some of these colours say that they may have adverse effects on children. He said it is not something that you have to do to pass food hygiene, but an idea would be to maybe put a label on the box about it may cause adverse effects. So yeah, we took that on board and that's something we might do. The other thing that he asked about is, how do you deal with allergens? Like, people come, what's your process? So we basically told him, before anybody books, we ask them if they have allergens. We refer them to our terms and conditions on our website before they pay any money, which outlines about allergens. Then also, when we send the cake, we label it clearly with allergen stickers as well. That's on every product that gets labelled. And then he also asked us like what allergens do we cater for, which is basically gluten-free and nut-free. But even with nut-free, we advise that we make in a factory that actually produces sometimes nut-based products, so there is a possible chance there's traces. We told him how we store those cakes that are going out, how we package those cakes that are going out, and yeah, he was pretty happy with all of that, to be honest. There was nothing actually that he was concerned about with regards to the allergens. So that's what he did over here. Then he moved into the showroom. The other thing he asked actually was, where's your gloves and apron, where's your PPE? So we were able to show him that we've got like half-used boxes of gloves, and also we've got extra gloves up there. We've also got the aprons that are up there, disposable, wrapped up, that we just take down when we're using them. So yeah, let's see the showroom. I don't think we've ever shown anyone this room yet on camera. So he asked, basically when people come in, if they're booking a cake here, what's the process with allergens? So we've actually got, a label on the door. So please ask before you order if you have any of these allergens. When the shutters are up, there's actually another one on the front desk here. This come with the pack that we were just showing you that we brought on Amazon. This actually come with it. So that's another way of showing allergens. He was hot on allergens, like have your knowledge up about it, and you shouldn't be offering anyway your customers the chance to have things like gluten-free cakes and stuff like that if you haven't got the knowledge on it anyway, because it's dangerous, like it can kill. So yeah, make sure that your knowledge is up. We recommend that course on allergens. It's really helpful because they will ask you about your knowledge about it and what you do to offer your customers nut-free and whatever products. Okay, quickly going back to the allergens, we missed something. Basically, he wants to know what area you do those cakes in. So we actually have a separate area for doing gluten-free cakes, and basically, if a cake has, it should be stored at the top. So for example, gluten-free flour or whatever should be stored at the top, so it's not contaminated by anything. So we have a section for the bowl and the mixers and everything for gluten-free, and also the flour, and it's all stored on the top shelf of our ingredient shelf. We bake everything separately, keep everything separately, everything's sealed up and left the building before we introduce gluten, for example.
And clean down in between.
Yeah, every surface is cleaned down before and after, which is standard practice anyway, but it's very important that you do that thoroughly with allergies, and that is all covered in the policy that I mentioned. It's all written there as well. So basically the one thing we were worried about was this floor has got like cracks in it, nothing to do with us, it's the way that it is. The floor is what it is. It's got cracks and bumps and it's been painted over. Now this is what we were worried about. We thought that this is going to be a fall, this is going to be like, it's going to mark us down, and we even spoke to the person on the phone about it. Now what they want is a surface that is able to be wiped and cleaned down and disinfected. Because of the cracks, we worried about stuff being in the cracks. But basically what we do is we really scrub the cracks with a mop, and we try and dry all the cracks. Basically what they've said is, because we've actually said we're going to repaint the floor every 6 months or sooner if need be, they're happy with that. They said, you're not making cakes on the floor, there's no issue. So it's clean, it's been kept clean, and like we said, we're going to repaint over it.
Yeah, but if the cracks are substantial, you need to get them sorted out. You would need to get them sorted out. Our cracks are substantial, but they're not that bad. They're just cracks. If you've got big holes in your floor, you're going to need to go and get that leveled or linoed or something which you can easily clean.
Yes.
But yeah, apart from that,
he was happy with our plan. of what the painting,
Yeah.
and he was happy with the how clean it was at the time.
And that's a part of the HACCP.
So actually, there was also something on the morning. I said to June, let's offer him a drink, and June said, you can't offer him a drink. I was like, what are you on about? You can't offer him a drink. He said, oh, apparently it's seen as bribery or something like that. So this whole time he was here, we didn't offer him a drink. I was feeling so guilty inside. And in the end, he was like, okay, guys, it's taken a lot quicker than we expected to take.
Apparently it was going to take 3.5 hours.
I know, but it did take like an hour and a half. So it did take quite a while. We've heard people say that they've had home inspections, that they were gone in 20 minutes, they weren't here, like it's thorough. I feel like it's a lot different to house. But he said, so guys, we're finishing up now, so you won't get your certificate today, but I can tell you that it's going to be a 5. Here it is. It took so long to come, we were checking the post box every day. But then, as soon as he said that, we were like, okay, so now you've told us, do you want a drink? Just because I just wanted to make sure like he didn't think we were bribing him, but he didn't have a drink. He had somewhere else to go. But yeah, that was that.
That was that one.
Best feeling ever. And you know, we told certain people, and they were like, yeah, we didn't expect anything else. I mean, it's disappointing because we actually was worried about it. Like we actually thought the floor, you know, what if you see something we don't see? What if we've missed paperwork? But alhamdulillah, we got it boxed.
It's a big thing because to me, I'm the kitchen man, innit?
Yeah.
I'm the kitchen man, and this means a lot. You know what I'm saying? To show food hygiene. Like if it's me personally, and I'm not really a pompous type of guy, you know, but I'm not really trying to eat. Look, I'm not really trying to eat if your thing don't say very good, you know.
We actually check. We check.
Yeah, I'm that type of person. So yeah, it means a lot, and I've wanted this since we came in here. To be honest, I didn't want to open up the unit without having the hygiene. But obviously, Corona, etc. But it's definitely a big thing. Alhamdulillah, especially being a commercial unit.
Yeah.
It's different with people that are baking from the house, and they're not taking away from it. Alhamdulillah, good on them. Because a 5 is a 5. But you still have to prove to get the 5. But yeah, in such a large space, in such a large unit, where so many things can go wrong, even the structure of the place.
Yeah, that's they mark you on the structure.
Yeah. So 5-star. We went out and celebrated.
We did, yeah. We went for breakfast. We went for breakfast.
It
was a good feeling.
Alhamdulillah.
It was, alhamdulillah. It still is. Still makes us smile, like genuinely.
But now we got an issue because now we didn't know that it came sticky on the front. And obviously because it's a unit, there's no glass windows.
Yeah.
We can't stick it to the window. So now we're going to have to go and buy something. It's going to cost me money to be able to show people it. But you know what? It's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, we'll put the links below to the pack and things like that. If anyone needs any help, DM us, message us. We're more than happy to help and go through it.
Comment us, let us know if you had any issues, if you're worried.
Yeah. Any questions, just comment below. And if it was beneficial, like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, like we said, if we've missed anything.
Yeah, let us know if we've missed something. Let us know if you offered them a drink for all the other bakers.
Yeah, please. It was a horrible feeling not offering him a drink, but yeah, it is what it is. Alhamdulillah, it's done now. Until next year.
Or unless someone complains.
No, yeah. It's always possible.
Always. Haters gonna hate. But yeah, on that note, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Any issues, any problems, don't hesitate to get at us.
Yeah.
Until next time. Don't know.